What was the last presentation you made?
Actually, I think it was 2 weeks ago here at uni.
Okay.
It was in a group of, we're 6 in total. So this left me like a very little time to speak. I think
Okay.
it was 2 minutes each.
And people think presentations at university,
Mm.
but to be honest, and I firmly believe this, is that we present all the time in life. What is the most frequent question you get asked when you go to an interview? Tell me about yourself. Who are you? Tell me about yourself. And this is usually question number 1 for like all,
Yeah.
like if you check, I know you don't seem to believe this.
Not really.
In all the job interviews I've gone to, it was always and if you check on internet, usually it's just to get the ball rolling, and people, maybe you don't even perceive that as a question.
Yeah, are you sure? Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe it depends on the country or
Okay.
whatever, but
And people often think that's just like a question where like I'm a bit free. They think that's the easy one because they think, oh, who am I? They think like, and instead that's the most difficult one at all, because for that one you need to prepare. You prepare a 2-minute presentation about who you are. When like I went to some job interviews and I did absolutely awful, terrible, because I thought, oh, that's nice. I told them that I was like born in Italy, and I started all the way back from like what I did at high school, and then I went to uni. No, you start from the most cool, interesting stuff, recent stuff for
Okay.
them, and then you work your way back. So it's a presentation.
actually, yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
It makes it like after you know it, then you think, oh, that's why I never get called back for these jobs and all this stuff. Like that's
Well,
a
there's always a kind of, spot that you will never know what,
Nah,
like
no,
the
that-
reason
that's
why
for
you're
sure.
not being hired.
That's
But
for
yeah,
sure.
it makes a lot of sense actually. Yeah.
So this is like part of the reason why I want to tell people this, that people, it's not just presentations at uni, it's not just at these fancy executive jobs, it's like you present all the time. Like you could even think about, for example, a first date as some kind of form
Yeah.
of presentation, even though like you maybe don't want to go there. How to do a good presentation. And this is what the video is about. So the format's going to be, we're going to stay here for 2 minutes and we'll say the first massive thing that will make your presentation good. Just the atomic bomb. Like, why does Obama sound so good?
He's got a huge team behind him to begin with. I mean,
You never say the things I want you to say. No, but I'm joking. I'm joking.
but apart from that, to be honest, he fits perfectly also into the times we're living in.
There's a reason why he sounds amazing, and there's a reason why. Do you like movies? I love movies.
Of course, yeah.
Nice. And do you know why these movies, they just look so beautiful and everything is just working so well? Because people prepare. Because
Yeah.
people prepare.
Yeah,
It's true.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
really.
It's simple as that, yeah.
But if you think about yourself as terrible at presentations, you know how some people say, oh, I'm just terrible.
Yeah, I get so nervous.
yeah.
I struggle a lot.
I used to be like that.
So
I
you
used to
changed.
be. I changed. I changed. I used to just be so bad that I would feel sorry for the people that were listening to me. Like really, I was just like, but then I realised at a certain point, they sent me away to some like fancy course, and there was this guy that was just telling us to just prepare. It's like there's no secret, just prepare. And then I realised I had this epiphany, and obviously I sound so stupid, but I just realised that I'd never prepared. I just always treated presentations as like, I'm terrible at it, I'm awful, I can't get my words out. But I was just like, because I'd never prepared, I treated it like, I approached it negatively. Instead, when I started to think, no, I want to do a good job and I want to prepare and I want to really know my stuff, then it changed. Like, you can even be like, to be honest, you can even have like the lowest social skills imaginable, but if you prepare, like, and you really prepare, it's going to be better, like for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, it's like, it's something you need to prepare, but at the same time, you need to sound natural, and that's,
No, absolutely. Like,
the thing.
I don't dispute that. And but
you
by
want to look spontaneous. But
you can be spontaneous. You can even freestyle by prepare. I don't mean that you have to learn every word by heart. I just mean that you need to know your topic
ready.
and just like to think what you want to say, even vaguely say, oh, I want to say this and then I want to say that, and just like it doesn't have to be but you know yourself when you've prepared and when you haven't. Just prepare. That's all. Last thing that we should say is that I've checked. There's already loads of YouTube videos on this topic. No, really. And most of them are complete bullshit. And I'm not just saying that. Like, loads of them, like, maybe they're not even bullshit in absolute terms, but they focus on, like, tiny aspects, like, the title, or, like, how to keep people engaged, or how to pick a topic that's like really interesting, and or even just like how to close a discussion or how to start the discussion. These are all elements that you need as part of a preparation, but I think it's really important because most people, like when I was like really anxious, so if you told me, oh, make a nice title or finish like this, I would have still been anxious.
Yeah.
So I want to
You're
speak
not going to the core of the...
exactly. So I thought I want to make a video that's like, I think we could make a good video about excuse me, about something a bit wider. You step back and how to enjoy the experience, or how to think about presenting rather than choose this font or start like this or finish like that.
Those are very superficial things in the end.
Exactly.
You're not going to the root of the problem.
Yeah,
Which is how you feel.
Exactly. Somebody can give you all these superficial things, but it's not going to make much of a difference. You want to approach the thing positively. So the number one thing is to prepare, and that will make you approach it much more positively. So that's the first one. How much do you think preparation scores in relation to presentations?
Really high? Yeah, I would say 9 out of 10.
I give it a 9, a solid 9.
Okay.
9 plus. Like, yeah, I just think it's just so important.
Yeah.
So why don't we go to the next location, which is the chess area, just around the corner here, where homeless and alcoholic
We're
people
gonna
play.
bump into all of the nice people, you know that.
Nice. We said the big massive one. So now we've got number two.
Okay.
These are two tinier ones. Like, so the big message is prepare. Okay? And the two tinier ones are just so important. So tip number two is memorize the beginning of a presentation. Have a clear idea how you're going to start. And so it's very important to, especially if you're anxious and you're in front of all these people and you need to think beforehand, I'm going to be in front of all these people in a big auditorium, and then it's not unthinkable that I might forget the beginning of what I'm going to say. So you want to start strong, so you want to say, even just like prepare with like your girlfriend or your boyfriend and just say many times, this is a presentation about like how to lower anxiety. So I'm going to tell you about how to lower anxiety. And you just say this like maybe 20 times, and you don't say in your head, you say the words out, so then it becomes normal. So you just memorize the very beginning, and just maybe the first 10 seconds, 15, maximum 20 seconds, and you just know what you're going to say. This is a presentation about this, so I will tell you this. Just start strong.
Yeah, actually, it makes sense.
Yeah?
Yeah, because that's the first thing people are gonna hear, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't get your audience interested from the beginning, then
No, exactly.
like there's nothing else going on.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna start thinking, oh, so I could cook this for lunch, while there's somebody talking in front of them.
Totally.
Because that's me. I mean, obviously we speak now, but we've been in the audience too, and that happens to me so often.
Absolutely.
I start thinking about whatever.
Yeah.
Because if you don't keep me interested, and that happens to many people nowadays.
No, absolutely. Like as soon as you're like, you just think, oh my God, what's this presentation going to be? It's going to be ultra boring and all this stuff. So it has to just start strong and say, this presentation is about this, and I'm going to tell you this. Just like this second part of this presentation is about memorizing the beginning of a presentation. Starting strong. Start strong. Tell people why they should listen and what it is that you're going to be doing. Just as simple as that. So, how much do you rate tip number 2?
I would say 7, 8 out of 10.
Okay.
But always as long as you know what you're gonna say next, because then it doesn't really matter if you are there before the presentation and you repeat something 20 times, and then you don't know what's next, or you don't really.
But
you have to.
I think that's actually a great aspect. That's a great point. That studies find that if you start strong, then the ball's rolling. You're not going to have that. You're not frozen anymore because you've already started. To be honest, I also give it 7 or 8. I'm not because I don't do this all the time, and I don't find it necessary. Sometimes I even know what the presentation is about, so I just like start free flowing from the beginning. But if you're very anxious, then I think it could be very, very good. So let's move to another location just further along there. Third aspect of how to make a great presentation, and this is one that I came up with myself, and it really is. This is genuinely something that I think about every single time, and I tell people about this. I've told many people, whenever you feel anxious before making a presentation, I always think, how would you want this to go? Would you want to say everything exactly where you think, okay, I've said everything that I wanted to say, or would you rather feel good about the presentation? What does that mean? It's about expectations. Do you want to say exactly everything that you've prepared and make it beautiful, or are you going to be more relaxed with skipping one or two things and just being and just focusing on enjoying yourself? What do you think?
Both ideas.
You never say what I want you to say. Okay.
Then don't contact intelligent people, you know.
Let's do it. Okay.
No. But the thing is that you really want to say all you want to say, but at the same time, yeah, you cannot be so focused on that, because then so many people, they sound like a robot. Sometimes they come and they've got this complete, so detailed idea in their head, I'm going to talk about this, that, and then it's like, okay, next thing.
Very importantly, if you notice that you've forgotten something, where you just focus on that you want to say everything exactly the way you prepared it, or if you want to just enjoy the experience. And so that's the question to you, which you still haven't answered.
Well, enjoy yourself.
Say it!
That sounds really nice, but
There's always a but with you.
Of course, because then, do you think that if you're enjoying yourself, that your audience is not enjoying it? Or do you think this is something that comes with it?
I think that if you're enjoying your so again, we need to think about extremes. One extreme is that you're just really anxious like this, and the other, and that you're really anxious because you want to say all these things and they're all in your head and you've got so much to remember. Or the other version is that you go and you're just so smooth and you think
confident.
Maybe not even overconfident, just confident, and you're just you think, I don't care so much about this. I want to enjoy myself, and I want to somehow have the people understand these two things. If the people understand these two things, that's fine by me. If they understand 6 or 7 things, that's great, but I'm not going to stress and I'm going to enjoy myself. I think that if you approach it in the second way, where you're just no stress, keep the expectations very low, just say, I want people to remember these 2 big things, and that's all. If you learn more, then that's cool. I think that's the best thing. If you are enjoying the experience, I think that changes everything.
Actually, yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I can give you an example. So when I was doing the PhD here in University of Geneva, halfway through the PhD, they said to us all, okay, you need to present what you've done so far. And so you had to make this presentation halfway through the PhD, and the girl who everybody was presenting really well, and I was just and the girl in front of me who presented, she was going really well, and again what you were saying earlier, nobody even really is listening. People are half listening, and nobody really cares. And then this girl's presenting well, and then all of a sudden she has a meltdown, and I swear to God, she had a meltdown. Yeah, she started to have.
She didn't know what to say.
No, she started to have an argument with herself. She started to say no, I wanted to tell you this 2 slides back, and you think, no, don't do that. And she said, yeah. And so she took us 2 slides back. We'd already all forgotten where it was going. And then she told us exactly the stuff that she'd wanted to tell us 2 slides back, because she thought these were key aspects to what she was talking about, and she was so into it. She didn't know that nobody was really caring sufficiently. Nobody, that's the thing, you know the story, but other people are just listening to what you're telling them. So anyway, so after that she went back, took us 2 slides back, was and she corrected herself, told us this extra info, and she didn't recover from it. It was just terrible. It went from bad to worse. And then I came and I presented after her, and I just knew that I was like, I can't do worse than that. I cannot do worse.
What a master!
I know,
actually,
exactly.
You know?
It made me feel so. I was like, oh, thank you. Don't think I don't appreciate this. I was like, and I felt amazing after that. I told some friends of mine presenting in front of a huge auditorium in Basel, and the guy's just in front of me, so nervous. And I told him, I said, just like, even if you forget most of the things you're saying, would you want to go out and people think, my God, he's so confident, he's so smooth, and that you've made a sort of like, if you actually examine the words that you've said, quite superficial, nothing so interesting? Or would you prefer people saying, oh, he told me all these amazing things, but he was a nervous wreck and he was just like a mess? And like, what do you prefer?
Obviously nobody wants a nervous wreck.
So this you can call it this third tip that again, it's just in line with this idea where it's not so much these different like tiny tricks that people tell you in other videos or people anywhere that will say, oh, do this, do that.
Yeah,
it's
like
just,
imagine everybody in the audience naked and all of
yeah,
those
these
stupid
bullshit
tips. Like,
tricks.
who,
Yeah.
I wonder who actually does that.
No, but exactly. Imagine being in front of a presentation, in front of an audience of people, and you're already so nervous thinking about all the different things that you knew. You're thinking, okay, I've prepared, let's do a good job. And then you're going to use so much of your brain power to imagine people naked. Like, think about how much cognitive power that's going to waste.
Yeah.
And I find that stuff bullshit. I think the best tips are really about how to approach the experience in the best way. That's what I want this video to be about. How to approach the experience in the best way. And again, if you can lower expectations and you think, I want this to be smooth and I want to enjoy the experience, I would rather people thought this guy or girl, she's like really good, really confident, really on the ball, and maybe that what you're saying is like, you're not so ambitious, you don't want to tell them a trillion things, you don't want to say like all these amazing, like, you just keep it simple, but you come across as very strong and smooth. I always prefer that.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, completely agree.
Nice,
With no buts.
Nice.
It's all about that in the end. So I would say, again, 9 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah. If you're not enjoying it, who is? Then, yeah.
I give that also 9. Solid 9 out of 10. Also, that is the one that I use all the time. I use that one all the time. Nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you very much.
Good, thank you.